Welcome on in to another edition of XFeed. My name's Schiller, and we do this show typically every Monday through Friday, but today we're going to be doing the Monday stream that I'm just kind of feeling the mood, if you know what I mean. Now, before we get started, I want to talk a little bit more about my Pokemon adventure. Listen, we got all the codes for the online. Absolutely loving it. But let me tell you, the amount of effort, pain, and suffering I have to deal with. We have some old basketball cards that I'm trying to move, DMing a guy about it. We're kind of going back and forth, trying to find the optimal price. Like, some of those cards are a bit older, and, you're trying to say, okay, if I deliver it, you get a little bit of a deal, having to deal with the trust aspect as well. What if you get scammed and the whole thing is completely pointless? It's just, listen, the aspect of digital collecting is revolutionary. And I'm going to stay by that. All right, let's get into the content of the show. Every day. Yo, Atari, good GM from the PM. What's going on, my guy? Okay, so we have some companies that raised a wee little bit of money. Dapper Labs, valued at $7.6 billion back in September 2021, and they raised $250 million, right? Now, apart from some other things, this person's talking about how do you have a league, a product of a league, and you don't send anyone to the finals, when you guys also apparently paid Kevin Durant $1 million to get into it. Kind of weird. Again, Top Shot's supposed to be held at this high class. Let me actually rephrase that. Is it weird that they're not sending somebody to the finals, or is that just, life's expensive? They can do what they want. That's the question. Was there an expectation that there would be people in the finals? Maybe. I feel like they've done it before. Podgy Penguins apparently hit 20 billion views on Giphy. I've been saying this for a while. I've also praised Doodles for this. I think them going down this aisle, Shay, good morning. Hopefully you enjoyed all of your consensus gatherings with the folk out there in NFT land. And I think just the aspect of doing the normalcy, there's nothing about the NFTs, just, hey, this is kind of a cool thing that you can reply to friends with. And I've done it before. I've seen it all over the timeline. I don't know why these brands that are so based off of aesthetics, right? Like, I mean, even for Bored Apes, how come there's not more of those ones out there for Cool Cats? Again, like, why is there only like one or two collections that are doing anything in that section? I think there's a lot of room to do it. And even if you're not like this cute cuddly thing, just figure it out. You can be serious. You don't have to have all these cute gifts. You can be serious as hell. And talking about serious, guys, DAOs are back in. I thought everybody was afraid of DAOs. Nobody wanted to touch DAOs, and now they're a thing again. Sandbox announces the launch of Sandbox DAO. The Sandbox game, a leading decentralized gaming platform, has announced the launch of its decentralized autonomous organization, the Sandbox DAO. The initiative aims to empower its community through a structured, phased approach with 25 million Sand token treasury. Holy smokes. Now, the one thing that I do really love about this space is there seems to be an excess of capital ready, or tokens, I guess I should say, for people that are building on these different protocols, games, whatever have you. So if you have an idea, this is like genuinely one of the only opportunities you can have, unless you're well connected, know how to make sales pitches, etc., where you can take advantage and try to work on something, whether you have the skills of building, whether you have the content ability, whether you want to just give it a shot, trying to put yourself out there. This is the land of opportunity. DAO members owning 5 sand or 1 land can vote on 3 initial SIPs considered foundational proposals. There's a whole bunch more extra things within here, but all that matters, I think, is that Sandbox is helping to try to bring more to what's going on there. Now, we've seen a couple of pivots within the space, and Reboot looking like something is changing again. If you're not familiar with Reboot, it's the protocol that Pixel Vault basically made, and they made an announcement saying players Zai Games is an outstanding gaming chain. There is no doubt. The future is bright for them, and we wish them well, but our future lies elsewhere. More from us soon. So what's the thoughts with this? When you get on a protocol, you start using different things. I had some token that I ended up like burning, where you're able to get some back through their system. And, I kind of got familiar with it a little bit. And now that's getting changed. A lot of rumors are going around saying, oh, they're going to move to Blast. But again, Is it good that they're pivoting to something that might be more successful, or is it bad that they're not sticking to their original word? You see how it's kind of like a flip flop of like there's good and evil amongst everything. And Beanie throwing out the exact same time that went out, saying that Pixel Vault X Yuga with that announcement. Does that mean that Reboot is going to be doing something with Ape Chain? Is Ape Chain going to be doing something on Reboot? Is this for Blast? What's the conversation around all this? I have no idea. But again, we've seen Yuga do some big things in the space regarding acquiring, moving things around. Is that a part of it? I don't know. But I guess a lot of the comments, there's like 66 comments on this, and most of it was saying like, yeah, they're getting acquired. And we're like, oh, hold on a minute. We're saying that there is like an X, right? Like a partnership. When you throw the X out there, that doesn't mean there's an acquisition per se. But G-Funk, who is the founder of Pixel Vault, saying this partnerships include mutual work toward gaming launches. So it's a Reboot partnership, but it's also separately a PV partnership. Now, does that mean this is in reference to the fact that like the Yuga comment, or is this in like response to what is going on with Reboot changing? And I'm assuming that's strictly a Reboot, and Beanie's just kind of throwing that out there to mess with G-Funk as he does. Tails, what's going on? Yo, I love your comments, by the way, recently, getting all the insights. And your post yesterday, I haven't responded to it yet, but talking about how like Futureverse is kind of hiding itself in a way until they're ready to be known. And the tech layer, like I think, as individuals, right? Like I have no idea the amount of effort it takes to do the, like how every asset is technically like an NFT, which I think you said on one of them. Like, I don't know the technical feats of that, how hard that is, but it does sound like that's something that is, very high end, and excited to see kind of the rollout of all that. And I appreciate you stopping on by here for this and saying hi while we're live. Zero here. The most hyped drop of Ape Fest 2023 was Bape X Bored Ape Yacht Club sneakers that were limited to 1,000 pairs, are selling for well under retail now on StockX. Okay. He also highlighted that they queued for hours to pay $350. Guys, what the hell happened to NFT merch? What happened to it? Listen, I got CyberKong's hoodies. I got VFriends ledgers right behind me. We have the original basketballs. We have the VFriends cards. We have Bored Ape merch galore. We have some of the original Pixel Vault stuff as well. We have Dream Loops, which people might not be super familiar with. I have like an original Gilded Guardians hoodie as well. Absolutely insane. All the merch that we ended up buying, just thinking, hey, this was going to turn into something. And in many cases, it has, but is it reached out? Have you kind of changed as a person? Do you still care about what you bought previously? That is the question. Cool little 2D animation drawings here from Artifact. Just thought I would highlight that right quick. Might be familiar with the 3D models. Think the 2 is cool. The merch is at the conferences. Well, okay, listen. I need to set up a booth at one of these and be like, listen, guys, we're going to have a yard sale, and I got all the goodies for you. Did you get much merch there? And was it free, or did you pay for it? That is the question. So there's been this huge back and forth within the meme coin space where all these celebrities are jumping in, and Zach XBT absolutely ripping all of them, talking about previous NFTs that they were a part of that they didn't end up continuing whatsoever. And I think that there is like an ounce of, hey, yeah, like we probably shouldn't buy these things, but at the same time, people are like, oh, this has the attention. We just need enough people to buy into it, and then you're ready to rock and roll. Now, if you're an Azuki collector, this is kind of cool and interesting. And I gotta say, listen, I still think that Azuki's got one of like the most aesthetically pleasing styles out of everything within NFTs. Like, obviously not everybody loves like anime type things, but I mean, when you look at it, that dragon's friggin' clean. So the Azuki Collector's profile page, you can do equips, edits, licensing opportunities are going to be available on it. Again, there was kind of a huge push, it felt like, from different third parties trying to come up with opportunities, but them having that on their site, I think, is really neat. Collect both NFTs and physicals. Okay, we have physical merch. Okay. Integrates with Gacha Grab of the anime coin, and collector score gives values to rare and grails. Now, Futureverse has done a great job on having their NFTs have like a future score where, again, the root token gets with that. It seems like it's going to be the same idea here with the anime coin or some kind of extra perks with Azuki. But for those collections that don't have anything like that, I'm curious what that looks like. And further to it, like Bored Apes right now, and Mutant Apes, they have like another year and a half allocation of the ape coin. What do those prices look like once there is no token associated with it whatsoever? That is the question. NFL all day had more buyers than sellers yesterday. Guys, sports NFTs are friggin' back. Well, the question is, was this organic market demand or were they selling packs? And we can see here NFL All Day had 970 buyers with 654 sellers. Scrolling on over, somebody said the challenge for the day was to buy anything from the marketplace. Challenges make things happen. Hell yeah. Do you guys remember the Zogs collection by Matt Fury? He had a whole bunch of these like individual characters. Looking at the amount of them, it looks like almost all of them were about the 700 plus range, but typically under 1,000 across the board. I still think like it's really cool art, but it's interesting to see that you can get like most of these right now for like pretty cheaply. But I think there was also bonuses that were like the challenges that we just highlighted a moment ago, where you were able to buy multiples of them and then you got like a special edition one of that per set that was released. But it's interesting to see again, because I mean, Matt Fury is a top of the line artist and you can get some of the stuff for relatively inexpensive prices. Stats, aka Punk 9059. As I dig deeper into this headline circulating, the Magic Eden is now the leader in ETH NFTs. The data looks even weirder. Look at these screenshots of their top ETH collections and where the NFTs are trading. So have you guys ever heard of Dragon World? What about Bluebird 3D? What about 8K8 Chronicles? You know they're going for 8 ETH. Dragon World's upwards of 15 ETH. People are wash trading the hell out of this for points. It's also happening. CryptoPunks here is saying, Degenerate News reported that Magic Eden now dominates ETH NFTs volume. All it takes is a quick look at Magic Eden's Punk trades to know that there's a ton of fake volume going on there right now. Floor Punks trading back and forth at nearly double the floor. Again, Punk's kind of around 30, 35 ETH, and they're trading here for like upwards of 60. A little bit of shenanigans going on. Absolutely unbelievable. Drop Bear here, rocking the drop.root, highlighting that Illuvium, of all things here, is adding to their prize. So we keep trying to, make the reference that people care about the big prizes. Are they going to be paying attention? Are they going to go out and be playing it here? And that looks like that is the case. Adding an extra 550 Illuvium. Now, can you think of the times when you've talked with friends and they've like randomly brought up an NFT to you or a collection out there? What one was it? When was the last time they recommended something? Curious. It feels like some of the conversations have kind of stalled a little bit. Again, everybody's maxis and different things, but I feel like there's not too much branching out going on right now. Now, on that same thought, here's a post from Camel that was talking about how he was interacting with Web3 Adam, who you might be familiar with. Let me scroll over. You might be familiar with this Pengu. You might not. And they've added an other NFT to the shoulder of their main one. And citing, people don't want to interrupt their brand right now, what they're known for, but they want to show love to some other things. But that just kind of goes with the point of everybody is down to be a maxi if they can. Arcadia here with a cool little article about what is going on. It sounds like several different arcade experiences are coming from it. As you scroll down, you can see that there's a Seeker pilot, so that looks like there's something to do with Seekers. These are arcade games. Flappy Seekers, again similar to Flappy Birds, and then Fluff Runners. So some old arcade games are coming through Arcadia. Very cool to see more and more builders coming on to the Root Network overall. Love to see it. Now back to the celebrity thing. Soulja Boy, I guess, is doing like a metaverse type deal with whatever this is. Most people are absolutely clowning on him right now. But I mean, hey, I guess people are trying, so A+. Now, Omnia here, you can see how it's got the Sappy Seals business kind of square on it. And this is something that they are launching called Omnia. It looks insane. I'm a little bit perturbed, I suppose, that like there's such an emphasis on things going the Pokemon route, as we see with like Illuvium. They're trying to do this, battle catchers with the Pixelmon. Again, Pokemon, Pixelmon, same kind of thing. This as well, very similar vibes. Is it just because the Pokemon idea is so good? Is it because there's an expectation that that's going to take off different places? I honestly, I don't know. but it looks really, really good. And that coming from Sappy Seals, again, at least from my point of view, I'm like, oh, damn. Okay, so these guys are cooking something a little different in a good way. More tokens have been made in the last few months than in the entire history of Ethereum of 2015 to 2023. I don't know. Probably nothing. Now, the wild thing is this big blue bar here. If anybody's listening on audio, notice that these are all kind of the same. And then all of a sudden, there's these massive blue bars in the later half of 2023. And it seems that all the tokens are coming from base. So people talk about the base meme coin season, and it looks, well, maybe that's what it's from. And Fluff Boy, good morning, good afternoon, welcome to the show. Hope you are doing well. Any questions? Yo, what's your favorite color? Yo, what's your favorite color? Yo, yeah, you can only pick one. None of this, I like black and white. Yellow and red. You ever ask anybody that? You ask them your favorite show and they'll give you like 6 different answers, but when you ask them your favorite color, it's never 2 of them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, more Top Shot fun on the timeline. I just thought this was kind of interesting. A few more Top Shot fun. I'm going to be totally honest. But anyway, so Paul Millsap here is, who's an NBA player, former NBA player, saying, hey, everyone, I've spent around 2 days studying about blockchains with Solana as my priority. I'm bringing some of my NBA capital and known people for meme coins. Already bought WIF, SC, and Conservative Jupe. What's your favorite meme coin? I'll buy in. Okay, so these things happen in an instant where you can get attention, you can become a celebrity. I've mentioned this before, where I think if you have a lot of capital and you are trying to create a name for yourself, there is no place easier to do that than within the crypto landscape, because there's so many people in it. If you already have a following like Paul Millsap, you just talk about it, you'll have a whole bunch of people. Or if you just go spending and buy people's bags, they'll be like, listen, Fluff Boy's buying my bags, I'm liking every damn tweet that person puts out. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. But cyan for color, hell yeah, I'd love to see it. It's like the teal turquoise kind of thing. It's like a lighter blue, right? Right. Tails Featureverse is doing things just right. They really are doing a favor for the community with how much they're giving to route to smaller wallets. Many collaborations not named yet. I agree. The only thing that I'm like confused about in a way is because the user base is so small, I feel like it's just hard to believe that entire allocation is going to just like the 3,000 to 4,000 people that own the NFTs right now. Cause that's a lot. And if all that happens, right? Like, and I'm not saying that it doesn't, but obviously we've had the questions about kind of collections and people being like unsure about things. And it's just like a matter of like, if that entire allocation is going out and there's nothing else that changes, like that's absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. So very, very happy with that. But again, the question is like, this has got to grow, right? Like we always joke about like the willing to split the pie, but how many times does the pie get split? But anyway, Paul Millsap, originally what we're talking about here, but his NBA Top Shot debut, guys, it's going for $1. Guys, it's going for $1. What are we doing with the Series 1 here? Well, actually, this is Series 2. Never mind, it's Series 2. It can go for $1. Series 1 is the only thing that's supposed to have value. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, more celebrity news. Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, has tried to jump into the space again, and at a previous time back in 2022, which I got a good story for you if you've not heard it, he reached out to Zach saying, please remove your post. I am in the NFT space to stay. This project will be followed by a metaverse. We finally have a good system in place. So first of all, that's complete BS. There's some team that runs Floyd's socials. There was a guy, so I'll try to make this story somewhat quick. Back when Twitter Spaces were first out, they had the whole space was kind of doing different things, and they were like, hey, Floyd's coming on here, and there was a ton of excitement. A whole bunch of people were on the stage waiting for Floyd, and one of the team members legitimately kept repeating about how celebrities join the space and they just scam, and Floyd is different, right? Says this entire spiel for like 30 minutes, and it's just, it's malarkey. Yeah, you ever listen to somebody talking like, I know you don't know what you're talking about, but like I'm gonna pretend that I don't know that you don't know. You know what I mean? And so they came on and they were like, hey, yeah, like he's on a jet, sorry. And I don't even think, like, they were supposed to give out signed gloves. They were supposed to give out meet and greets. You're supposed to be able to go to like Floyd Mayweather's birthday party, all these things, and nothing happened. And then they tried to launch a second NFT a couple months later, and it got fudded. When I mean FUD, this is the right, good, fresh service, crispy FUD. Right? You know what I mean? Throw out whatever descriptive terminology you want to. It was greasy. And so they ended up like just not doing it, stopping. I think they sold like maybe 10 of the NFTs, and now he's back trying to do stuff with meme coins, and Zach again is trying to cook him for it, and it's kind of crazy. So this guy's at Consensus. He's on the main stage and legitimately says 99.99% of the projects at this conference are complete and utter BS. Imagine going to a conference and saying that. Now, let me trace it back a little bit to kind of what I'm doing with the whole Pokemon thing. And I've enjoyed it, and it's made me be like, you know, I really, like, do I care as much about the blockchain aspect as I think? And I'm looking at like all these different products, and I'm like, you know, for my pain in the trading card space right now that I'm feeling, there is absolutely a better solution. But there is an insane amount of people doing these different games and trying to create with like different protocols, the different chains. Again, new tokens left, right, and center. It does seem like a lot's going on. So is 99.99 BS? Maybe, but there, you know, that 0.01%. We need it. We need it. And talking about physicals and collectibles, the secondhand video game market apparently has gone insane. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, PlayStation 2, $219. I can't read some of the games here because they're like blocked, but different Silent Hill versions, upwards of $399. I remember just thinking, there's so many of us with these games. Who cares? Throw them in the trash, donate them, whatever. My God, they're going for a fortune. And here's some talk about the NBA Top Shots. Apparently they're getting dumped for like $4, $6, $2, $1.88. I still think if Top Shot can find a way to get those Series 1s cooking, it might be rocking and rolling. Now, I made this post the other day, and I think it's kind of relevant because when you look at Pokemon and you see the first editions of things, and the screenshot might be a little bit hard for you guys to see, but a first edition booster pack, which again is just those little packs with, 5-10 cards you'd buy for the store. The first edition right now, it's just plain, not graded or anything, $2,448 for that. Now, you know the history of Pokemon, you know everything, how it's been around forever. And the original one of that is going for $2,448. You can get right now the physical. And I want you to think of all the NFTs out right now that are well known and that are going for greater than $2,000. And it's wild to think of the exponential growth in terms of collectability we have for these NFTs. Yes, there is the assumption that, hey, these are going to have extra free perks, yada, yada, yada. But can you imagine if Pokemon did stuff on the blockchain and had that same kind of mantra of, hey, if this is successful, there's going to be kind of a potential slew of other things, or people are wanting to collect it. It's going to be easier. And it's just making me think, damn, like the space has expedited massively for what some of our NFTs have been. And will that hold up? I don't know. Very well. Yo, what's going on, Harry? All right, yo, you got any Pokemon today, bro? Yo, you got any today? Gotta catch them all. Listen, for anybody that doesn't like Pokemon, this stuff is going to get super annoying. But maybe, if you like it out there, it would connect a little bit more. Okay, Spike Collects says, hot take. If we want to grow Web3 gaming, we need to break out of the Twitter and branch out from attending the same 4 to 5 Web3 events each year. I mean, this kind of goes back to the comment of that guy saying 99.99% is BS. To be honest, like, break out of Twitter. How do you do that? I mean, simply have a game or experience that people really like. Obviously, the hub of crypto right now is on Twitter X. You know what I mean? And then attending the same 4 to 5 Web3 events each year. I don't know. Shay, I don't know if you're still kicking around here or anybody that's happened to been to some of these events. Like, they're cool, right? But I don't really I haven't walked away from like any of them being like, oh my God, I'm going to buy that project. That was some kind of super cool thing to experience. And maybe I've just been to some bad conferences or they had bad speakers when I was listening to it. But, apart from the networking and opportunities and having a place where you can see people face to face and they get together for like a reason, I mean, I don't think necessarily changing what events we go to really changes anything within the space. Okay, so here's a really, really hot take that might perturb some of you. Okay, so be prepared. There's a pretty huge cultural shift happening in the West. Anti-government and rebellious with tons of fear of centralized power abuse. This is going to lead to the mass adoption flow into Bitcoin we've always predicted here soon. It is written. Shay, howdy. So this is interesting because I kind of agree. It feels like there's this big notion, at least that I'm seeing on socials. Again, I kind of chill out. I don't do anything like that exciting, but it seems like there's a hell of a lot of anger everywhere. There's all the complaints I'm seeing of, our government sets up like the bus route stops, right? Like the local government, and they don't even take the bus. And there's all these deciding. And then, if we go somewhere and we need care and we can't get it. And, the government's taxing us so heavily and they keep adding tax and they're the bad guys. And we don't have like any opportunities to be able to do things. And it feels like the Hunger Games, and it might just be me. And if you disagree, like, feel free to let me know. But there does seem like this huge rebellious thing of like, do we trust the systems and everything that's being put into place? You know what I mean? And so, like, I agree. I think that there's going to be a huge movement here where if the Bitcoin is like the people's money per se, that's it feels like that's going to happen. Yo, you just got back from Texas? Hell yeah. Bullish on conferences and IRL meets for strengthening the connections and networking. Now, you are somebody who is building within the space. Do you think that you would have gotten the same value from that conference if you weren't building anything and you just went as an attendee? Really curious about that. Okay, so listen, somebody funded Fluff World, and I wrote a big response, and then I deleted it. I'm not going to lie. I was like, okay, dude. So here's the post. Does anyone remember Goblin Town? Hape, Invisible Friends, Ranga, Mechaverse, Art Gobblers, Fluff World, Pixin, Nakamigos, Karafuru, Cyber Brokers, Creature World, Three Landers, Fanta Bear, Lazy Lions. Whatever happened to them? Okay. Let me see if I can go down each of these. So for Hape, it was a ape collection similar to when Bored Apes were really breaking out, and it was a 3D collection of these like stylized ape. And I have no idea what happened to them. They were going for unbelievable amounts of money, and it was crazy. And I have no idea why. I remember at the time being like, this is actually BS. I don't understand this. Maybe it's cool. Like, aesthetically, I thought they looked fine, but there was nothing that different about it. Maybe not as an attendee, but as a content creator. Okay. Good deciphering. Yo, Momento, what's going on? What was your response? Okay, so we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So Invisible Friends. Invisible Friends had an NFT that was a gold Invisible Friends that sold for $1 million, and it was for charity. Looking back on that, I'm pretty sure the team just bought it themselves. Allegedly, potentially. This is speculation. Don't believe anything I say, but maybe for tax losses. I mean, listen, they make an absolute bag on Invisible Friends. Why not just, blow $1 million on a charity thing? Happens to be ours, because why the hell would somebody buy $1 million NFT from a brand new collection at the time? No friggin' idea. Right? Okay. Yo, Jacob, what's going on, brother? How are you? Thank you. And then we have Ranga, which Ranga came out, and the big thing with Ranga is that there was like this assumption, I can't remember if it was during the mint or right after it, where Yuga Labs was acquiring them. So these things were going nuts. I thought the art generally looked good, but I've always been kind of like, all right, like there's a definitive difference between collections that are specifically for the art, you'll know what I'm talking about, and ones that are saying, hey, we're trying to build out other things. There's going to be various branching out of that. And that's totally fine. If it's only in our collection, that's cool. But I always had that feeling about Ranga. And that, seemed kind of true. Yo, Lozzie, what's going on? Yo, you guys ever play League with Lozzie? Absolute legend. Yo, your Buffalo. Okay, Jake. Yo, my man, Wild Buffalo. Yo, dude, I was like, who the hell's Jacob? First time viewer, guy likes the historian. Unbelievable. Why you stream Twitter shit instead of playing League with the boys? Yo, Juice, I apologize. You guys freaking playing League of watching this? Unbelievable. Okay. So we got through those ones. Mechaverse was one that there was very few thoughts of quality mints. If you guys remember on the early days, everybody was launching an NFT, but I think there was a big concern of what is going to do well and what is a quality mint. And from the teasers that we got of Mechaverse, it seemed they were legit. They had some cool things. Obviously, it came out and all of them looked unbelievably similar. And people were like, what the hell? There was a 500 ETH sale. I know people that were selling them for like $70,000 to $100,000. I'm pretty sure like the pre-sale, you had to pay 2 ETH to get it. And then you could immediately flip it for 5. Like absolutely unbelievable hype. And then it just seemed like they were very, very slow with things. They wanted to do like the second collection with like those kart racers. You know, I thought it was going to be like Pacific Rim 2.0, you know what I mean? Great freaking movie. But then nothing happened. So Art Gobblers was the one that had the guy from Rick and Morty. And this was at the same time that there was all those, I guess, charges or accusations that were being made at the time. A lot of fun about it that came out afterwards. But for whatever reason, people were buying these things for an absolute bag. No reason did I understood, and then immediately it became fudded and just crashed as per usual. Okay, so at this point, I feel like we kind of have like a baseline. I don't think I did everything justice, but then we walk into Fluff World, right? We walk into Fluff World. We've highlighted all these things that are just unbelievably hyped, completely weird, and then we get into Fluff World, and I'm just sitting here like, everybody, if I say that I have coffee breath right now, you know, if you drink coffee, if you know somebody does, you'd be like, okay, I understand, you know, I understand what you're talking about. And when I see people put these lists out, I'm like, and they had Fluff World, I'm like, this person doesn't even know what they're talking about. They don't know the coffee breath, right? Like they don't know what Fluff World is. They're throwing it in there. They see the floor price. They have absolutely no idea what's going on. So let's talk about Fluff World for a second. So they minted for like, I don't know. What the hell is the mint, guys? I don't even know. Like 0.05, 0.07, 0.1. You know, I think it was like on the lower end. And they had other mints that came out. They had different airdrops and whatnot. But I mean, now they have their entire new network. They're partnered with Alibaba. They're partnered with, holy hell, who else? I mean, Spotify. I haven't seen Spotify in a little bit. Everyone under the sun, right? Like they got Lang Lang. Do you know who Lang Lang is? I posted the other day and I said, this is Lang Lang playing, or sorry, the Gen AI music guy who was in the commercial for Future versus Gen AI. And he's playing with Metallica, and somebody started ripping. It was AGM, and he's like, "Bruh, you know that's Lang Lang. He's got 11 million followers on Weibo, bro. What the hell is Weibo? How the hell am I supposed to know that guy's got like 1 million plus followers, right? I only know him as this Gen AI guy, and there's just a billion partnerships. They've invented one of the only systems within Web3 that we've seen where there's actually a reason to hold the NFTs. They've done drops for it, which are massive. They've done extra kind of perks with things. They've done the IRL events. They've done a whole bunch that are partnered with Ripple for frig's sakes, and they've bought a whole bunch of companies and rolled up this entire thing, and they're trying to revolutionize everything within the metaverse and allowing you to be a maxi within any collection, because they're making a world where you can take your avatar that you are a maxi of and play within their experiences, because there is almost nothing you can do with experiences out there, and they are putting Fluff World in the same category as everything else. Absolutely unbelievable. Keanu Reeves, Snoop Dogg, thank you again and again and again. Yo, not good. What's going on, brother? Trickle down economics, BTC, ETH, alts, 4-year cycles, everything positioning itself for another run will return. The return of the king. True. Yeah, if they're partnered with Lord of the Rings, fantastic. And then Pixin. This is a collection that was just another one of those anime ones. There was like 4 or 5 that came out around the same time as Pixin. There was Ragnarok, if you remember that as well. And I have no idea what went on with that. But as you can see, as I kind of briefly touch on all of these, I can only give like 1 to 2 line sentences. Most people have no idea. You know what coffee breath are? Only if you drink coffee or know somebody that drinks coffee. Same idea. Nakamigos, this was a thing that people kept saying was like Beeple's art. Beeple put that collection in a few of his art pieces. Again, as we're seeing celebrities trying to get the attention of different people within the crypto space, I mean, is it Beeple's collection, or is Beeple just trying to get an entire 10,000 NFT collection holder base to pay attention to his work? Question for you. Karafuru, absolutely no idea what's going on with there. Can't really talk about it. Another one of those kind of anime ones. Cyber Brokers, that was Josie Bellini. Very, very hyped up mint, went for a ton. People loved it because it was on chain. Pranksy and some other whales bought ones for like 80 plus ETH. A lot of the ones did seem kind of similar, but they had these traits on them, and then the game ended up kind of turning into something where you you have to like solve puzzles, or there's a little bit more to it, right? Like people are lazy as shit, and so I think that lost some of the attention with like the way that some of the extra like utility or aspects of it were implemented. Creature World, that is the one by Danny. Oh my god, what's Danny's last name? You guys know who I'm talking about. Oh, it's not Danny Case. Wait, is it Danny Case? Do I know two Danny Cases? Unbelievable. Anyway, so Danny created this, and he got massively pushed, I guess would be the right term, after like the initial success, and it started getting out there by actually Gary V. So Creature World, World of Women, CyberKongs, and a couple others were at the very first V Friends. And I remember I found out Creature World before Gary V, but then Gary V pushed it a little bit more. They tried to do some different things. Danny got a lot of FUD over like something where he was making like Russian or Ukraine memes, and it went super bad. Like the timeline absolutely cooked him on it, and I haven't really seen it since, but some of the merch was really, really cool. Landers looked exactly like Doodles. It kind of concerned me that it had kind of the same look as everything else out there. I think the team did try, from rumblings that I've heard, but they just ran out of capital to keep going. Fanta Bear, people said that this was like the Bored Apes of Asia. I have no idea what went with that. And then Lazy Lions, they were another collection where they thought, hey, we need to do second editions of things. And they did that, and then it didn't sell out, and they were like, oh my god, we have to reduce the mint cost, and it didn't really go anywhere. And then I think like 4 different people ended up buying the collection, so I don't know where they are right now, but people are trying to do something with that. So there's your whatever happened to it. This guy's probably never going to know that I talked about this on here. Oh, sorry, I forgot Goblin Town. Goblin Town was one that, for whatever reason, in like the depths of the bear market, got like bid like absolute crazy, went all the way up to like 7 ETH. Then there was videos of Goblin Town at some different NFT events, hiring people to act as goblins, and then they were on Spaces talking like goblins, and it was kind of weird. But yeah, it's kind of, it is what it is. Anyway, on a final note here, the highest selling Michael Jordan card of all time sells for $2.9 million. What does that mean? Collectibles are back, maybe. I don't know. I mean, the highest sale ever for Michael Jordan? True. Listen, and Michael Jordan can still do something crazy out there where he totally wrecks his image. That's the thing. Listen, there's some brands out there that aren't attached to anybody, so you can kind of, you don't have to be scared of what's going on. Remember Lobby Lobsters? Whatever happened to that? Listen, there was a lot of gems out there. But Tails, Lozzie, Fluff Boy, Not Good, Juicy, Juice, Jacob, Technically Wild Buffalo, Mo Meta, Shay, Harry Swan, and Atari. God, guys, thank you so much for swinging on through and saying something in the chat. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. We might go live tomorrow if something absolutely crazy happens, but we had a bunch of stuff, and I thought, let's start off the Monday on the right foot, even though today is Sunday. Appreciate you guys coming through. I'll see you potentially tomorrow.